Hey, welcome back. Checkered Shorts, episode number 62. And some of us are spring breaking, so you don't see the normal backdrop behind. Brian, where are you joining us from?
We are currently in Austin, Texas. Here for a couple days, then headed to San Antonio and then Houston before we head home. So doing a little tour of South Texas.
Nice.
Love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Pat?
Cape San Blas, Florida again.
Beautiful.
Behind me somewhere. Can't see it. There's a pool, but yeah, perfect weather over here. 75 sunny all 7 days we're here.
Beautiful. Enjoy it. Soak it up while you can. It was 84 degrees today
Where
in
you at, Keith?
Indianapolis. So we did leave sunny Indianapolis for 75 and sunny.
Take it. We'll take it.
Before we jump into episode 62, I think it's important we recognize the passing of Jim Michaelian. And
Yeah.
Brian, tell us, his significance and contribution to IndyCar as a whole.
Yeah, so Jim Michaelian, best known. I mean, he was a sports car driver, has a history in racing, but best known for his contributions in bringing IndyCar and racing back to Long Beach. Several years ago, started with F1 or F3000, I think they called it at the time, which is now what I would call F2, and then F1 race, and that didn't really work out. So IndyCar took over, and Jim really revitalized that area of California and through races like the Indy Grand Prix there at Long Beach and his connections. So just was the chairman of that event for as long as I can remember, probably 30, 40 years. I know in the last couple of years he's kind of taken a step back, but really cool to what he's done for the sport. And he's with everything that kart and IndyCar, IRL went through, Jim Michaelian was always there to support open wheel racing in the United States. And we're sad to see this man go, but thank you so much, Jim, for everything he's done for the sport.
Yeah, I mean, to keep that's one of the meccas, right, for IndyCar, and to keep that going for so long over there, just they don't make them like that anymore, So yeah, sad for the sport for sure, and all over social media, everybody's giving their grace and their prayers. So yeah, sad to see him go for sure.
So what do we have associated with the number 62?
Yeah, I guess we can hit another little history lesson here too. We'll keep this brief tonight since Pat gave me so much flack last episode. But 1962, 1962 Indy 500 was the first time we saw cars break the 150 mile per hour barrier. So Parnelli Jones was the first who kind of set that mark of 150 miles per hour. And then secondly, it was the last time that there was an All-American starting 33. So an All-American starting field for the Indy 500 in 1962. It's the last time we saw that. So thought that was an interesting point. I think the next year we start to see the British invasion with Jim Clark and Graham Hill and those guys. And from that point on, it became more of a worldwide event.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're down a little bit with no race this weekend. So we thought we'd discuss about the Indy 500 field, who's in officially, how many spots remain, and why are they still open?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got our 25, right? Like the 25 chartered team or chartered entries. Those are there. So that kind of kicks off. So when we think about that, everybody that's racing now, for those of you that are not familiar, those teams are automatically entered. Does not mean they are guaranteed a spot in the field. I know there was some conversation about that a few years ago. That is not the case. Everybody has the opportunity to qualify. Any of those, Alex Palou could end up missing the field if he doesn't qualify. So it really starts with those 25. Outside of those 25, I know there have been some that have been confirmed so far. So if you guys want to kind of jump in with some of those that you already know.
Yeah. So the latest and greatest, Jack Harvey He was probably the first one. Really, Connor Daly is official as of maybe even last week. Hunter Ray, right, is back. So what's that? That gets you 28. Who else am I missing off the top of my head?
I'm going to go with
Takuma.
Leg,
Yeah.
right?
Who's that?
Miss Leg is going to be in the field, isn't she?
She's trying really
Not
hard.
yet.
I think she has the sponsorship. She just needs a car, a
She needs an
team.
engine. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got. You mentioned
the other.
Yeah, Taku with Ray Hall. You mentioned Ryan Hunter Ray. He's got that McLaren car, which makes him a really strong candidate.
And then it's Helio's that other.
Yeah, you got Elio in the back with Meyer Shank, which he's a part owner of that team, so that wasn't a big surprise. Another one that we haven't mentioned is the ECR car that Ed Carpenter will drive. So he'll have that one in there again. That's another one. And then you mentioned Dreyer Reinbold with Connor and Jack Harvey. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's six really strong candidates and contenders for the race, honestly, with those six. So,
I think so. I think it's
in the 31.
Who's ready next is, and Catherine is trying to get a bow tie engine. I would assume that she was close. So, who does Prima still field a car? You'd think they have to. Like, that's they're not here in the season, but you'd think they would at least, they put it on the darn pole last year. So you'd think they would like to at least rerun one. So there's 33. If there's somebody else out there chomping at the bit, I don't know if. You got Colton would be the other. That sounds like it's all but signed. I think they'll probably wait till a slow day in sports to release that. Maybe, I don't know. But that's about all I really heard of who else might be out there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit on a couple of things you mentioned there. One, Prima. I did hear that they do have permanent employees, so their IndyCar team is working. And so if they've got a team of people that are putting a car together, you would think that at least means one entry. So we're talking, most likely that's Callum Ilott, I would assume, even though Schwartzman sat on the pole last year. I think he's more comfortable back in Europe than Callum is. But that could be a possibility of two cars there. If they get there, we're looking at 33 already. Andretti has historically thrown a fourth car in there. Rumor is that's going to be Colton Herta. He's got that weekend off from F2. There's nothing going on F1 that weekend now, so you would have to assume that Colton wants that ride. I heard he was at the race last week, so in Arlington. You just assume that he's definitely going to be there. If not, Andretti will find somebody. They'll put somebody in that 98 car that Marcos had for the last several years. There are some other possibilities out there, though, that of people that are kind of looking around.
Might have heard. Yeah, Jacob Abel didn't have a stellar season. I think that I might be making this up, but I read it somewhere to where he still might get a shot or trying to funded to do it. But selfishly, again, I say it every single episode. It seems like let's have more for IndyCar fans. So 34th entry would just be great for pole day and bump day, and just a little bit more drama to the series, if you will. I think it does depend on leases for the cars and how many. You're not going to get to 38 cars. You know what I mean? Honda and Chevy just won't have that many and won't allow that many. So,
of the people you've mentioned that are confirmed and those that you suspect, minus Catherine, you could see those finishing better than half of the regular field. Is that very common, or is it just because these guys still have it and they were that great? So it's kind of like the All-Stars coming back.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. It's guys that have shown speed in the past. Those teams are like, hey, Taku, come in here. You're a 2-time winner. Ryan, you've won this race. You've competed. Like that track is so hard to learn, and the car is hard to learn. So having guys with experience is gonna make a world of difference. Pat, you mentioned people like Jacob Abel and Catherine Legg. Like, getting an engine's one thing, getting the sponsorships another, but a third is, where's the team come from? So when you think about teams, like who are those guys joining? Like what teams are out there that would be willing to put forth another car for them?
Well, that's the trouble is, yes, you have a professional driver, you have a car that's put together, but that team is not a Ganassi team. It's not even it's not even an Andretti team probably that does this week in, week out, that still fumbles the tire or, air jack or something like that. So it's one thing to get the drivers, but it's a great point to get not to say a professional team, but a cohesive team that knows what they're doing. And in that race, how many times do you stop in 10? It seems like sometimes. So that all adds up 100%. And you can have a fast rocket, but a team matters in all of that too. And a strategist, almost just as important as the driver.
And then who has a chassis? I mean, I'm off the top of my head, I'm thinking, Foyt could possibly throw a third car in there. Juncos could throw a third car in there. I think your bigger teams are already, unless Penske decides to throw a fourth team in there, I think your bigger teams are pretty much set at this point. So, we've got people like you mentioned Catherine, you mentioned Jacob Abel. I think of guys like Stefan Wilson. When he's been given a good car, has been competitive there. Linus Lundqvist, we've talked about him before. Devlin, we know Devlin's got the money.
Yeah. You're right. Devlin too. Spencer Bigger would be another.
Getting to the ideal number of 34 entries be impacted by having an extra race this year? Because you talk about engines and cars, they only have so many, right? So many setups, so many cars, so many frames, and they're going to have damage. Just in the week prior to the race, when they're out there pushing it. So I just wonder, could it have an impact that there's an extra race this season?
That's a great point. I mean, if you wreck it on pole day or bump day, no matter if you're Chevy or Honda, that's one down, especially if it's a rented tub from somebody, and you put it in the wall, it all adds up, and it makes, some of these smaller teams not want to stretch their team that's already thinner than one of the top 3 or 4. They're probably not going to do it. So no, it's a great point.
No, I agree. That's a really good point. One I hadn't thought of. But I know, you got these guys that have this ambition, and maybe, that one chance in the 500, they score a top 10, like that puts them in a car the next year. I think about a guy,
You're right.
We've talked about Miles Rowe before. This is a guy that we were really looking forward to an NXT like dominant season out of him, like to move up again. And he's not done it in the first 2 races of the year. So does Indy pop up as hey, get him in a Foyt car, see what he can do?
It's a good point. Because I think he's a little bit more driven towards ovals, it seems. And he's been with Penske for 3 years now. So if you're staying around that long, I have a plan for you, I think. So that's good. That's a good point. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I think I saw yesterday 50 days away. So I think today marks 49. So it's coming. They have a test here. I forget, April. I don't remember when it is in April, but it's in April. So you would think that everybody would have their teams slotted and positions ready to go by then.
Yeah. I think my daughter told me today that it's 2 months. We're 2 months away from race day. I think that's what she told me. So
great. Great daughter. It's a great daughter.
Well, that's a great note to end on. But episode 62 has been a good one. Thanks for joining us. And we had a break in the action, which seemed rare after this start of the season.
That's
It's been awesome. But we will be coming with you. Episode number 63 will be pre-race talking Barber.
Maybe we might have a special guest appearance live in Barber. We'll see.
Nice.
We'll see. Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
All right. Thanks for joining us.